Next wagon's heavy with the jelly. Take it out before it gets across town.
Okay, welcome back everyone to Let's Play Driver 2. This is Slow. And this is mission 3, I think. And the game is continuing the trend of the out of place, very hard missions with a take 2 of the jacking the truck mission next step. That this time is throwing grenades out of the back of it. Grenades that, as I find here, detonate on impact, not just timing. And pretty much if you're hit by a single one of them, you fail the mission. Fortunately I managed to nail this mission on the second try, but sight reading this was pretty annoying, and success in this mission pretty much you have to align yourself with the vehicle and then rub the target until it is successfully disabled. That involves good use of the shoulder buttons to actually get a view of the target. One thing I've noticed about this is that when it says that when you disable a vehicle that the driver has made a run for it. However, when you actually get into the vehicle, you hear the hey that shows up whenever you actually jack a vehicle that someone is already in. You'll see that right here. The rest of the mission is pretty much straightforward. You literally drive to the same exact place as the last mission. It mentions being careful of explosives, but in general the time limit is ridiculously generous for a point A to point B, so you shouldn't have to worry about crashing into anything really. I'm just going to fast forward this because it is pretty much the same as before. We'll see you on the other side.
Here's the buzz, Tanner. 4 cars, and one of them's got the file that puts a face and a place to Rosanna Soto. Find the cars before the city swallows them.
And so begins mission 4 of Havana, and unfortunately this mission is also very difficult. It's also very freaking long, and your primary objective for this mission is there's no cops, fortunately, but if you notice there, I slid without making any tyre sounds, which means that you can't see it, but there is rain. So you've got low grip constantly, and your primary objective in this mission is to disable 4 vehicles, which will show one at a time. And you can get into other vehicles to effectively replenish your damage meter if you need to, but I would consider the time limit for this mission to be pretty strict, considering this is City 2. And the biggest problem with this mission I find is the sheer randomness of the engaging vehicles, because they take quite a few hits to disable, and in comparison to the truck missions where the vehicles follow the infinite density rules, these vehicles don't seem to follow those rules. However, that means you actually have to hit the vehicles very hard in order to deal damage to them. Also, considering the AI of the vehicles, if they end up doing something like a donut and attempting to do sufficient damage to them in that state when the average speed of the vehicles is so low, it's not going to be high enough. And I'm not actually sure if I fast forward it here because I know I'm not going to get it this wrong or not. We'll figure out that soon enough. Oh, yeah, there we go. There's the super fast mode. I think I get to like either the second or the third vehicle and then I end up rage quitting and trying again. I remember playing this level as a kid and I think I was stuck on it for about 50 minutes or something ridiculous like that. Like, this was one of my primary roadblocks when playing this game. Yeah, I'm probably just going to fast forward the intercept positions where I am just basically chasing the target and just slow it down when I actually get close enough to be able to attack them. One thing that is also difficult about this mission is that the routes, while they take like very similar routes every time, so if you're good enough you can intercept them. When you actually get close enough, they do seem to change their directions between attempts, so yeah. So if you attempt to anticipate, like, yeah. Well, I wasn't expecting to see that during the coin, but yeah. They'll take turns like at the randomest of times, and when you combine that with the poor weather conditions that the mission has, you end up with a pretty annoying experience. Well, as I was going to say before I got confused by what happened just then, when it comes to intercepting vehicles like this one here, if you can guess which way it's going, but if you guess wrong and don't look at the map fast enough to react, you can lose a hell of a lot of time trying to get back on track. And that is time that you so sorely need, unless you get extremely lucky with one of the takedowns and mash a hell of a lot of the target's HP in a single attack. Occasionally you will get lucky with the routing of the vehicles and you occasionally can get a head-on, which, as you see here, does absolutely ridiculous amount of damage and reduce the length of the conflict by a very, very significant amount of time, which can often make or break if a mission being passed or not. I find it strange that, considering the nature of a mission where there are 4 vehicles you have to take down, but they don't just place all 4 markers on the mission at the same exact time. However, I think it might have been a limitation of the Driver 2 engine, in that they wouldn't have been able to like place all 4 targets and all 4 damage meters, or however they were going to be able to implement that kind of system. There isn't much else to say. This mission is difficult and there's a little bit of luck involved in it. Yeah, that will be all. There is actually a part 2 of this mission, but that will be covered in the next video because it is particularly short. Until then, this has been Slow. Take care of yourselves.